basically, like right now, maybe like we can be a group of friends, like let's go to 2 or 3 friends developing something. We registered a company and equally split up the equities. Now after I can say that an angel or a VC like gives the funding, then how things like processes change here. First thing. The second thing, in terms of the legal implication on the founders, like what is the expectation from the founders is expected from the investors point of view, and then like how investors track the progress, maybe the weekly or the monthly basis. So like on the progress part from the founders, like how they track it. So like maybe you can like explain from the VCs, like institutional investors versus the angels as well. Yeah.
So see, as is the case with any money coming into the business, okay, money, the nature of the money is that it has to be put to use, okay, it cannot be put idle. Now the best use of money is when money is spent in a very organized and a thoughtful manner, okay. Money cannot be spent in an organized and thoughtful manner unless and until you yourself are organized and thoughtful, okay, which means that you have to actually have the organization part pretty clear in your mind, okay, which means that the responsibilities between the founders have to be clearly divided. That yes, if you are 3 of them, that one is going to focus on this, one is going to focus on this part, and one is going to focus on the other part, okay. Then the teams also have to be kind of built as per that particular strategy. Secondly, you need to identify which is the most important area where the money is supposed to be spent, and that is more often than not that the clarity of that particular aspect is something which I believe is there in the mind at all times. Okay, when before you go out raising money, because when you go out raising money, you are actually asked this question as to what is the use of the proceeds going to be. Okay, and you need to answer that question really well before the investor gets convinced with you and with your idea that they really want to give you money. Okay, so the answer to your question is basically in the question itself, that it is a part of your fundraising process. Okay, in the fundraising process, you are supposed to tell that these are the things I would be needing the money for. I would be needing the money for, let's say, needing the money for marketing. I would be needing the money for building another product which is already in the market that I have done so. Okay, let me hold on to the number 1 or the number 2 position that I am having. Okay, so these are the various ways in which you will actually demarcate the use of the money. Okay. Now, when it comes to the processes and how it changes after you have raised the money, yes, once you have raised the money from angels and all, I would presume that it is going to be very early days when you do that. Okay. It is always better to have very basic set of processes in place, okay, so that you give a good visibility to the investors in terms of the progress that you are making, because any investor would like to know what you are doing with the money. Okay, angels specifically, they would not tell you that, hey, listen, you need to spend the money here or spend the money there, but they would still like to know that, yes, if you have utilized this much money, where have you reached, have you progressed or not? So set the KPIs, set the dashboard basis that. Okay. Now, when it comes to VC money, VC typically, as I said, is like a much more organized setup and a system. After you have raised money from VC, you need to make an operating plan. Okay. So once you have made an operating plan, that operating plan gets discussed with the investors, with the board. You get an approval on that operating plan. That this is what I'm going to be doing for the next year. Okay. Is everybody in line with that? So if somebody plan is the guiding principle to the fact that this is how you are going to be spending the money. Okay. So that is how this entire thing is worked out.
Okay, and like how is the equity split after the raising money, and any legal implication changes there?
So there are a lot of things that change after the money is raised, Satyam. Okay, and depending upon the kind of the terms and conditions under which the money is coming with the company, okay, the investors might or might not impose legal restrictions on you. I would say, I would not call it restrictions, but they are essentially those conditions under which the money is given to you. Okay, so yes, it's a proper legal document. The shareholding structure, the share subscription agreement, is a proper legal document which is actually signed. All the founders have to sign it, the shareholders have to sign it, and you need to abide by it at all times. Okay. In terms of the equity structure, again, it is something which depends upon the negotiation that you have finalized and concluded between you and the investors. Okay, so if you have agreed to give out, let's say 20% of your company, so the equity structure kind of changes in that manner.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.